Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Madisonville Marine. The Fishing Show is coming to the Knoxville Expo Center on January 21st through the 24th of this month. Madisonville Marine will be there, of course, a great selection of boats for you to check out, plus unbelievable deals and rebates always available. Madisonville Marine, madmarine.com to learn more, or check out Madisonville Marine at the Knoxville Expo Center for the Fishing Show, the 21st through the 24th of this month. I want to welcome in the next member of our panel, another VFL quarterback. Bobby Scott is with us. Bobby, thanks for being here, buddy.
Always good to be here.
All right, 2 questions as usual in this Hot Reads segment. I want to race through the first one and really hit on the second one. Are you worried and concerned about roster changes before next season in terms of players? Kurt Magid has announced he will go pro, won't be returning. That's not a surprise. Alvin Kamara, Cam Sutton, and Jalen Reeves-Maybin are getting draft grades from the NFL Advisory Board, so they're considering it. Also, last year you had a wave of transfers from the program, a lot of backups. You've seen a lot of quarterbacks already transferring from Alabama, Kentucky, A&M. It's like a boatload of them at A&M. In terms of transfers, early exits, roster changes, how concerned are you about this Tennessee roster?
I'm going to go with the transfers don't bother me as much as the possibility of early exits. I think the early exits obviously are guys that are very, very high quality players, and do you have replacements for them? Most of the guys that transfers, like you said, are going to go someplace else and get more playing time, and good luck to them, and you can't blame them in a sense. Short career, so the transfers worry me less than the potential leave early for NFL.
Thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I'd agree with Bob. I mean, you see last year all the transfers moving out, and we hear year after year under Butch, well, we're a young team, youngest team in the country, that sort of thing. You want to have some experience at some point, some depth, some juniors and seniors on that team. So, yeah, the 3 guys who are thinking about leaving early and any middle class sophomore and junior transfers are what you'd like to avoid.
You don't want to lose obviously you don't want to lose any of those guys early, but if there's one that I see as the biggest worry, you don't want to lose Sutton, you don't want to lose Kamara, but Reeves-Maybin, you basically play a 2 linebacker scheme most of the time, and he carried the weight all year. If he leaves
makes
early,
a lot of tackles.
Yeah, if he leaves early, that would concern me.
The only reason and I'm probably off base on this, but is when a guy signs a scholarship, he ought to be there for 4 years. And it's just the way I am and the way I feel. Now, if the only reason I think anybody should ever leave is if they got an opportunity to help their family or something like that. But otherwise, I'd like to see them all stay here.
Well, I think that the basic rule of thumb is, are you going to get a first-round draft grade? And if you don't, I think you make a strong case for coming back. But the ones you mentioned, John, you hope at least 2 of those 3 come back. And if you do lose more than just one, I think it is going to hurt.
Yeah, if you lose more than one, then you've got some vacancies there that you weren't planning on. You look at Les Miles, he lost 17 guys early over a 2-year period, and then a year later they're trying to fire him. When you lose a bunch of guys early that you don't plan for, it comes back to bite you.
And go back and look at LSU, how much that large number has hurt them. And we talk about this program taking the next step. You need these guys coming back to take that next step.
All right, we're way behind. That's a good problem to have, though, if you do have guys turning pro early. All right. Are you concerned, worried about coaching changes right now? Mark Elder has left. He was your tight ends and very good special teams coach, head coach at Eastern Kentucky. There have been rumors about Zach Azzanni and Willie Martinez leaving, but Manny Diaz has been hired as the defensive coordinator at Miami, so you might not see Martinez move down there. And the big rumor, Les Miles was a rumor. It's rumored that Butch Jones is giving a hard look at his assistant coaches. There's a possibility that he's looking at other defensive coordinators, possibly former Vanderbilt and Penn State defensive coordinator under James Franklin, Bob Shoop. We don't know what's going to happen with John Jancic or any of those other guys. Are you concerned about possible staff changes at this point, gentlemen?
I think it would be laughable if you made a change with John Jancic, because if anything, he deserves a raise. And if you're going to talk about how this program is a family and you keep the staff together, you should reward John Jackson much more soon than you talk about getting rid of him.
Now, there are going to be a lot of people out there throwing tomatoes at the television screen. Don't do that. You'll hurt your television screen. Because they're upset. Look at all those 4th downs he gave up, which to me, I don't hire a fire guy on the basis of a few fourth downs. Russell,
Look at
your take.
what's the third down stat last year about how Tennessee had the best third down defense in the country. The fourth down thing is definitely something that's got to be improved.
Yes.
And, I mean, listen, you always want to improve your roster. Why not improve your coaching staff? But you don't want to have a situation like Dooley had going into his last year, 2013, where you have too much turnover. So you're always going to have some turnover this day and age. Look at Saban's staff, the revolving door he's got down there. You just got to figure out how much is too much.
Well, go ahead.
I was about to say, I trust Butch Jones to make good hires. I worry less about the coaches than I do about the players.
Okay. I with what you've seen so far, I mean, a lot of people had questions about him when he came in here. Well, he won't be able to recruit. Okay, they've been able to recruit. Well, they can't coach. Well, they've gone from 5 wins to 7 wins to 9 wins in the SEC. I'm like you. I trust Butch Jones to make a hire there. Let me ask you, Bobby, though, end this up. What's the better approach? Philip Fulmer, who rarely had changes, it was a family, keep them all together, or Johnny Majors, who had he was hard on those guys. Nick Saban, another one. But they're churning guys out who wind up going to the NFL, they go elsewhere. What's the better tack with your staff? Keep everybody or keep them on their toes?
I think keeping everybody, having a family type, atmosphere. You won a national championship doing it.
You did. Well, Nick Saban's won 4 doing the other. But yeah, you can win either way, I think. If they start getting into the national championship,
I just don't see
race, then
enough
it's a
problems on defense that would warrant that type of a
the
major.
other thing
I
we
don't
don't know,
either.
one, this may be complete rumor. This
Right.
may not be right.
Right.
But we also don't know what's going on behind the scenes in terms of interpersonal relationships, all that kind of stuff. There's much more than just fourth downs, is my guess. If there's a change made, I'm going to bet it's more about something else rather than fourth downs. But we'll see what happens there. And I hate talking about John Jancic when he's fully employed over there. All right, when we come back, the Vols fall to Bruce Pearl and Auburn, and it was a special win, Bruce Pearl said. We'll discuss. Come on back on the Sports Source.
From East Tennessee to the Carolinas, no job is too big for Benedict Construction. Patios and decks, custom remodels, even custom homes. With a reputation for excellence, rely on the custom work of Benedict Construction.